Kia ora. My name is William Godso, and I'm one of the leaders of the Experiments Working Group. We live in a world where the research that we do can be more important than ever. Oftentimes, we hope that that research is absolutely ironclad, but we face many situations where there are severe limitations on what we can accomplish. One of the best examples that we're all seeing in the world in real time right now is what we can contribute to research on COVID-19. Governments throughout the world have been forced to implement massive interventions to try to secure people's health. But some of the standard methods that we like to use, such as experiments, are just not practical given the limitations on time and resources that we have available. These limitations affect many of our research projects, but in very different ways. Here is an example of a project that I did a couple of years ago where I was interested in the success of exotic species in New Zealand that had invaded wetlands. Here is one perhaps overly scenic picture of a wetland in New Zealand. And here is an example of the experiment that I could do to measure the success of these organisms. So each one of those buckets is me trying to experimentally simulate what happens in a natural wetland. And as you can imagine, there will be at least some discrepancies between what happens in a natural wetland and what happens in a little tiny bucket. We're also aware that insights on how to do experiments better, given these limitations, can come from many different perspectives. And there's something that each of us probably only has an incomplete understanding of. I, for example, have done work in ecology where people are starting to pull methods like this. This is something called nonlinear averaging as a way to relate the results of small experiments like a bucket to what happens across a broad system. These results matter in ecology. They probably apply in other disciplines, but my guess is that there are many situations where people don't understand how this method works and what it can do. To try to get a better understanding on the different perspectives that all of us have on experiments, we put together a small survey that we passed around during last year's GYA meeting, trying to pick people's brains on insights they had on experiments, how they can be done better, and limitations based on their own work. Now that we've put together the survey, we are starting to do data entry. And over the next year, we want your help to learn more about your perspective on experiments and their limitations, to synthesize insights across traditions, and to write up the results that we have. That's what I'm hoping to say. Thank you very much for your time.